Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be with you this morning to share some of the resolutions that came out of our recently held press conference, Congress by Transform Zimbabwe. What I would want to say, of course, is the fact that we are glad that we had over 2,500 delegates who converged in Harare on the 23rd and 24th of March in what we would call a historic congress for us. This was our inaugural congress, and being our inaugural congress, it means a lot to us and also to our membership. There were four main key issues that the congress meant to achieve. Number one, it was an elective congress because since the establishment of the party, we had not had our elective congress. This is our first. And we also launched, number two, we also launched our policy outline, what we call Ignite, which is our policy document, our policy outline as Transform Zimbabwe, in terms of what we mean to do to the people of Zimbabwe when they elect Transform Zimbabwe officials. And then thirdly, we had to review our participation in the MDC Alliance. And of course, I would want to say the decision to get into the alliance was taken by our national executive. Our national executive is the most important decision-making body outside Congress. So we have to ordinarily take decisions of the national executive to Congress, since this was our first Congress. And then, of course, fourthly and lastly, in terms of our expected output of the Congress, we had also to come up with our election strategy outline. So these are the four main outputs that we're expecting the Congress to achieve. And of course, the delegates from across the country, and I'm glad that all the delegates who attended the Congress were coming from the about 60 districts in the country, which is quite encouraging in terms of our spread and build up as a political party. And of course, elections were held successfully, and we managed to elect all leaders of the national executive of Transform Zimbabwe, as well as provincial leadership. They were elected and announced to Congress. And then secondly, in terms of the outputs, we managed to launch successfully our Ignite policy outline, and I'm glad our national secretary presented that one. He was part of the team that sat down to come up with that policy outline. The policy document, the details of the policy document are also available and can be accessed on our websites, and also from our office. The National Secretary's office has got a full document of our policy outline. And then thirdly, in terms of our resolutions, in terms of our continued participation in the alliance, I think it was noted and resolved by the Transform Zimbabwe Congress that there are urgent issues that need attention as far as the alliance is concerned. And there were basically three resolutions that I would want to outline to the press as far as our continued participation in the MDC Alliance is concerned. The Congress resolved that we need an urgent conclusion of all outstanding matters in terms of the negotiations that have been taking place in the alliance. I think our National Secretary and our Communications Director, Dr. Mazando, they are our two negotiators in the alliance. So they've been called upon by Congress to ensure that all outstanding matters within the alliance are quickly resolved. And then the Congress also resolved that the MDCT must nullify all primary election results for constituencies allocated to Transform Zimbabwe and other alliance partners. I think we got representation from our provinces that there has been primary elections by the MDC in some of the constituencies that have been allocated to Transform Zimbabwe, and I think Congress felt it was necessary that such need to be dealt with by our biggest alliance partner, the MDCT. So So this information has been sent to the MDCT and to the Alliance in general. And then thirdly, Congress also made recommendations to our negotiators in terms of what Transform Zimbabwe still expects out of the negotiations that are still going on. And our alliance, our negotiators have been given a task to take that to the Principals Forum, which is through me who participate in that one, and as well as to the Alliance Forum of the alliance. So there are certain demands or requests that Transform Zimbabwe Congress came up with, but of course the specifics of those requests for further negotiations will not be made known to the press for good reasons until after negotiations are concluded. So I would say in summary, this is what we came up with, and I think it will be very important for me to outline the fact that Transform Zimbabwe is a bona fide member of the MDC Alliance, and we continue our participation and our hard work to make sure that we edify and solidify the position of the alliance. We feel very strongly that the people of Zimbabwe have been let down by the ZANU-PF regime for the last 37 years, and they need a strong chance to make sure that we unseat ZANU-PF, and we have the faith and hope that we can do that as an alliance. We need to come together, converge, and work to unseat ZANU-PF. The Congress of Transform Zimbabwe also noted and agreed that the recent coup, the 2017 coup by President Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, is illegal in as much as it was popular. We noted as a political party that yes, the coup was popular because the mere fact that it was going to end up removing Mugabe, who has been around in our political scene for over 50 years, it was a great hope and expectation by the people of Zimbabwe. But having said that, it doesn't necessarily mean that the coup is legal, and there is need for us to hold a free, fair and credible election to ensure victory for the opposition in this year's elections. And of course, to that end, Transform Zimbabwe also, the Congress also then resolved that Transform Zimbabwe will escalate its fight for electoral reforms, and will petition and demonstrate to lobby for electoral reforms. So we will continue to fight for electoral reforms, and we will also continue to urge our membership and Zimbabweans in general to make sure that they register to vote, which is very critical. Voter registration is not closed. I think by law it should close 12 days after nomination. Is that right?
That's correct.
Sure. So it should close 12 days after nomination, and we continue to urge Zimbabweans to register to vote to make sure that victory is assured at the next elections. And we are very hopeful that as the opposition, we stand a very great chance of winning that election. Thank you. I can now take questions.
Thank you very much, sir. So that was a statement from the President of Transform Zimbabwe, Mr. Jacob Ngarivhume.